We're Polar Ice Creamery. We make a shed load of ice cream. From Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs, Jenny's, Salt and Straw, you name it, we make it. If you want to see how we do that, head on over to the channel, check out a video. Or stick around and watch how we make this. Ben & Jerry's Chocolate Fudge Brownie. If you watch our channel, you know that I usually do these videos on a Sunday morning, and that means eating ice cream at 7:30 while kids still in bed asleep. But today it's Saturday night, so I've got a drink ready to go. We're gonna dive into this Ben & Jerry's Chocolate Fudge Brownie. We're gonna look at the ingredients, see if we can somehow figure out what's going on, and there's a lot of stuff in here. And also try and figure out if we can see the macros, see what the fat percentage, sugar percentage is. Let's just see if we can manage it. So, let's open this up. I have no nails. Open that for me. Bear with me a second. Oh, let's put some Musico over the top. Some nice elevator music. Cheers. Let's see what this is like. Now, as far as I remember, this is not Haagen-Dazs, this is Ben & Jerry's. This is Ben & Jerry's best flavour. I used to eat this a lot as a kid. And it always just used to remind me of how good Ben & Jerry's were. Let's dig in. It's a medium brown colour. It's not particularly dark. Doesn't smell at all. It is good. You know, there's no disputing that. Is it as good as I remember? No. But, or maybe I should say, is it as good as ours? No. But there's a bit of brownie there. The brownie's got a tiny little maltiness to it. So that's quite interesting. I never noticed that before, but I'd say this is a medium dark chocolate ice cream. Still really good. It is still a good ice cream. So let's have a look at the ingredients on the back. So let's look at the ingredients. I'm going to put a thing up here, half and half, and we'll talk through the ingredients. So we got cream, which is 25% of this tub. Then water, sugar, condensed skimmed milk, cocoa powder, wheat flour, fat reduced cocoa powder, fully refined soy oil, free range egg yolk, invert sugar, egg, dried egg white, stabilizers which is guaiacol and carrageenan, salt, vanilla extract, malted barley, I knew it was in there, raising agent which is sodium bicarbonate, and then that's pretty much it. Then the whole fair trade sourcing thing. So of those ingredients, let's try and decide what goes where. So of all those ingredients, I think we're going to divide them up, brownies and ice cream, and see what we can come up, or see if we can decipher what's what. So we've obviously got cream, that's going to be ice cream, the water is ice cream, sugar, ice cream, condensed milk, ice cream, cocoa powder, ice cream. Wheat flour will be brownies, fat reduced cocoa powder, either. We'll split it and put it in both for now. Fully refined soy oil, that's going to be brownies. Free range egg yolk, considering there's other egg products in there, that's likely ice cream. Invert sugar, ice cream. Egg, brownies. Dried egg white, talk about that in a minute. Ice cream. Stabilizers, the guaiacol and carrageenan, ice cream. Salt, likely the brownies. Vanilla could be either. Malted barley is definitely the brownies. Raising agent, sodium bicarbonate, definitely brownies. There's no more sugar on there, so there's no, I would have thought there'd be like two different types of sugars, so they've probably taken the sugar that we first mentioned, which we put in the ice cream, and we'll halve it and put some in the brownies. There we go. The weird little list of ingredients that goes into Ben & Jerry's Chocolate Fudge Brownie. Can we identify the ratios? No, absolutely not. We know that 25% of this tub is a cream product. We don't know what that is. We don't know what the fat percentage is. We don't know what type of cream it is. And there's no other numbers in there apart from the brownie where it says 12%. 12% of that tub is brownie pieces. There's no other way to decipher what the fat content is. If you look down at the nutritional values, it says per 100 grams we've got 13 grams of fat, but that's including the brownies as well, so that's not just the ice cream. It would technically be possible if we take all the brownie ingredients and make them and then calculate the nutritional value of the brownies and subtract that from what's left, we could possibly get close to an ice cream. But what we do know is Ben & Jerry's are made to an American palate. So they're made to the 13 to 15% fat ratio-ish, somewhere between 16 and 18% sugar-ish. That's kind of where they land. So let's knock up a recipe based on those approximate numbers and see what we can do. Now, one thing we know about the brownies, and Ben & Jerry's don't hide this at all, is that they get them from Grayston Bakeries in Yonkers, New York. I personally highly doubt that they're a standard brownie recipe and they're made specifically for Ben & Jerry's, because let's be fair, they make bloody millions of them. So I had a look online and found a Grayston Bakery brownie recipe, but there was no mention of the malt flavour or the malt extract or whatever they use in there. So I've adjusted that and added some of that malt powder into it to try and recreate that malty kind of brownie taste that the tub has. And this is the recipe that I've come up with. We're going to put the full recipe for all this make in the description below, so head down there and have a look. But to make these brownies, you're going to melt your chocolate and your butter in a microwave. You can melt it over a bain-marie if you like. Then when that's all completely melted, add in your eggs and your sugar, get it nicely combined, and then finally add all your dry ingredients. Get it all mixed together nicely, and then put it in a pan. I've used baking parchment here in the pan. Use whatever you've got available, and then bake it in the oven at 385 Fahrenheit, which is 200°C, for 25 minutes. Now this is an 8x8 square pan for that, so you might have to adjust cooking times if you use something bigger. When they're baked, take them out, let them cool down slightly, and then cut them up into whatever size chunks you want to cut them up, and just let them cool completely. Now onto the ice cream bit. Now, if you watched our first episode of our chocolate series, how to make chocolate ice cream, we very briefly touched on the different types of cocoa powder, different types of chocolate. And I have absolutely no doubt that there is a very specific type of cocoa powder that goes into this. I'm going to use two different ones. One which is going to be the bulk of the flavour, and then another one to add a slight darker colour to it to try and recreate what I consider a medium dark chocolate ice cream. So let's get on to the making of the ice cream, shall we? So again, this full recipe is going to be in the description below, so if you want to know how we do it, get all the ingredients from there. We're going to start off with our invert sugar. Here I've used glucose syrup. We're going to put that in the pan first and then add our milk straight on top of that. To that, we're going to add our egg yolks, make sure they're really nicely whisked up and combined. You don't need to do the old-fashioned tempering thing, but we'll talk about that another day. Once that's mixed together, add in the cocoa powder. So this is Calabo 24% fat cocoa powder. Get that nicely mixed in. And here we're going to add in our skimmed milk powder. Mine is crap and it just really doesn't want to separate and dissolve, but just keep going and it will eventually. One thing that I didn't film is the addition of 5 grams of the darker cocoa powder, and I've used the Van Houten 100%. It's 12% fat cocoa powder, but it's black. It's described as intense black cocoa powder. So that's gone in here and been nicely combined as well. Once that's up to 65 degrees C, as you can see from the magical thermometer, take it off the heat and then put it in a container. And from that point, we are going to add in our cream. Now I've used UK double cream. It's 49% fat. If you want to use whipping cream, you'll have to change the ratio slightly. So if you want to do that, just send us a message and I'll give you an updated recipe for it. Give it a nice mix and put it in the fridge. Keep it in there for at least 4 hours. Once your ice cream base is nice and chilled, take it out of the fridge. Get your ice cream machine as cold as possible before you start, and then put it in and get it churning. Now, whilst your ice cream is churning, take some of your brownies and chop them up into 1 to 1.5 centimetre cubes. Put them in a nice little tub. We're going to use those in a minute. When your ice cream is fully churned, you should be somewhere near the soft serve consistency. Take it out and start loading it into the tub along with your brownie cubes. Get that full up and get it in the freezer for a good few hours. Well, normally I get my nice little pretty Japanese bowl and serve it in that, but we're going to do a side-by-side comparison. So back to the plate, the old school plate that the first Haagen-Dazs Belgian chocolate one was done on. That's what we're going to use. There we go. First time to compare. Now, I've actually done this one. This recipe is done based on images, memory, and what it tasted like earlier. So all of that combined is what I've used to create this. Are we close? I don't know. Let's scoop it all up and see. We've had to put the tubs back in the freezer because it's really hot in this kitchen. We've actually been cooking and our house is brand spanking new, so it just retains all the heat. As you can see, they're all melting, so we're gonna have to get a move on. Colour-wise, I think it's spot on. I think the colour is pretty much identical. Theirs obviously is melting considerably faster than ours. There's various reasons for that, but we'll go through those kind of reasons in our chocolate ice cream series. So make sure you like and subscribe if you want to find out why these all melt at different speeds. Let's try it. The brownies, perfect. I mean, spot on, identical, same consistency, same taste. They're really bloody good. The ice cream, I mean, the texture of ours is head and shoulders above theirs. But that's, to be honest, that's to be expected because they are bulk making ice cream from cheaper ingredients, and that's where that powdered egg white comes in. Now, I asked some other ice cream scientists out there in the world that we live in, and they all agreed that it's likely the egg whites or the powdered egg whites are put in to increase the overrun and to imitate a creamier taste, but without using any more cream. So that's why they've used them. We, on the other hand, have used cream. So what we're getting is additional milk fat and milk proteins. We're getting the lactose in that cream as well to come in. And we're getting a much more luxurious ice cream from it. But it is incredibly close to the Ben & Jerry's actual flavour. I'd say that their brownies are probably broken apart rather than cubed. We cubed ours and put them in there, but theirs are much less defined. So they've probably got a machine that kind of just hacks them up into bits and then, you know, folds it all in as the whole ice cream is being made. We don't have those machines. We have the luxury and the time to actually make them any shape we like. So I've cubed them. But all in all, it's just really, really close. Really close. And if you're after the perfect Ben & Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie recipe, I tell you what, you gotta try this one. Like I've said before, chocolate ice cream is incredibly difficult to get right. It's not really that difficult once you understand the ins and outs of it. So, like and subscribe, check out our chocolate ice cream series. Thanks very much for watching. And we'll see you next week when actually we do the next episode of our chocolate ice cream series. So, see you then. We're just making our way through the ice creams. Actually, something I didn't mention is the Grace & Bakery brownies that Ben & Jerry's use in their tubs doesn't have any real chocolate in it. There's no real chocolate on the back of their tub. So the Grace & Bakery brownies not only are malted, but they're malted with only cocoa powder, no chocolate. And that's why mine are better. Whoop, it's all down my face, look. Oh well. Shit happens.